Hey everybody out there, you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan. I am your lovely host, DJ Christmas, and I have with me a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself to the masses?
Yes, hi. My name is Darrel Guilbeau, and I'm an anime and video game voiceover actor.
Awesome. And, I've actually heard you in a lot of stuff recently, so you've been getting yourself out there a lot, but how did you get started in the whole voice acting world?
Well, I got very lucky. I live here in Los Angeles, and I came out here to be an actor, and so I was, auditioning for all kinds of things. And then I actually know Steve Kramer because I had worked with his wife. I don't know if you know who Steve Kramer is.
Yeah, we've talked to Steve. He's a nice guy.
Okay. Yeah, very good guy. And I actually worked with his wife. I played her son in an industrial film for for Arizona, no less, about pyramid schemes, that kind of thing, because it's against the law in Arizona apparently. And Steve Kramer met me, and so he said, "Hey, he and Laura said they're looking for a voice, a young guy's voice, maybe like 15, 16." And they're doing this show called Overman King Gainer, which is Tomino, the guy I think Tomino created it, who also created Mobile Suit Gundam. And so I went and I auditioned, and I didn't think I was going to get it because I had no voiceover experience. So I got really lucky, and I auditioned, and I just went and had fun, and I said, okay, I'll never hear from them again. And several months later, they called me, and I ended up getting the lead.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so I like I said, I was in the right place at the right time.
All it takes is a little initiative.
Yes.
And, especially recently, you've been getting a lot of really good stuff. It's hard to tell who's the main character, but you are one of the main characters in Darrel.
Correct. Yeah, it's a great ensemble piece. I think everybody gets their fair shake for character development in this piece, and even the the sort of characters around the side also, I think, are a lot of fun as well. So, but yeah, I was very pleased to be able to be a part of Darrel, and there's a lot of great voiceover actors in there, like Johnny Young Bosch and Kerry Walgren, Crispin Freeman, Yuri Lowenthal, just a ton of people, Mela Lee. Also, I had worked with Yuri Lowenthal in a play years before he and I even started doing voiceovers. So that was kind of interesting that he and I kind of started around the same time.
Well, there you go.
So I've known Yuri for a lot of years, so it was really strange that he and I saw him at a I think it was a birthday party for the guy who runs Bang Zoom Entertainment. I was like, what are you doing here? He looked at me, what are you doing here? And so it was kind of cool, that you can run into someone from a different part of the acting world.
And in terms of video games, you actually were in one of the really popular games right now, Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah, so I was very, very pleased to be in that, and I play the role of Beautiful Joe, who was the first time I ever voiced him. I know two other actors voiced him in anime as well as another video game. So I don't know how I got the part, I just did, and I don't know why the other guys didn't do it. But I feel lucky
that was a bit of a shock to me too, because in terms of video games, Joe's usually voiced by D. Bradley Baker, but I guess it's just been so long that they went for new talent.
Yeah, or I don't know, maybe they just couldn't get a hold of him, or I have no clue. I go in, if I get the work, I get the work. I'm always pleased, and it's kind of fun to see the poster that my character's on the poster. I'm actually going to get a poster from one of the local GameStops because I'm going to Anime Central in May up in the Chicago area, and so I'm going to bring one over there, have it autographed, and I don't know, maybe they'll auction it or do whatever, maybe something for charity.
Well, there you go. And other than, the one that pays the most, what would you say is one of your favorite roles?
Well, in video games, Beautiful Joe was fun, but I really like I was Lael in Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Crystal Bearers, and I like doing him because he was a very different character for me to do, and it was sort of one of those video games where if you put all the cutscenes together, it actually would sort of make a little mini movie, and so it actually gave me a lot to do as an actor. in terms of voiceover, of course, Darrel's fun, and I did a little small one called Eyes Pure. That's capital I-S Pure. I think it's only like 6 episodes or 8 episodes, and that was fun because just so there was I had a lead in that one, and it was a great character to do, almost like a Mikado, kind of unsure of himself, trying to get the girl, type deal. He was fun, and then like to do the crazy stuff, like I was a Paranoia Agent, and I got to play the kid who's studying, and he ends up being a victim of a little slugger. And there's one that hasn't come out yet because Viz Media Europe, I believe, has it, but it's called Zoid's Genesis. And it's about 50 episodes, I believe, and I get to play a warrior named Seijuro. And he was great because he's sort of like a very Zen-like warrior, so that was also a lot of fun.
Yeah, Zoid stuff is always fun. I'm a big fan of the Zoid series.
Yeah, it looked great when I was doing it, and it was actually a few years ago, and I believe they had started playing it online, but then it was pulled very quickly. So I don't know why they're, just holding on to it.
And you were actually one of the voice actors chosen to participate in the Adventures in Voice Acting documentary. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, that was, I was almost sort of just beginning around that time as well, and over at Bang Zoom Entertainment, they asked if I would like to be a part of this documentary where all the voice actors, I guess, would be able to give sort of advice and what it's like being a voice actor. So that was a lot of fun. So I think it's worth looking if you're interested in being a voice actor, because you hear from directors as well as the voice actors themselves. And as you'll hear, if you watch the documentary, you'll find out there is no one way to make it as a voice actor or anywhere in the industry, because everyone's kind of has their own path, I guess.
And now, since there's been more time since you did that, would you add anything to that? Any tips that you might have for anyone who's looking to start out?
Yeah, well, I would definitely say being a voice actor, you're still an actor. And I would say get theatrical training, get on-camera experience, because that's what's going to help you with your characterizations, especially in anime voiceover work. Because the characters are so fleshed out, there's so much character development when you do anime as opposed to, most other animation. But definitely get as much training as you can, because it will help. And as long as you have something on a resume, people are more willing a little bit to give you a chance, I think. As well as
even just a community play sort of thing.
Yeah, when I started doing community theater in my hometown, because I knew I wanted to be an actor, and I knew that was the only way for me to see if it's really what I wanted to do, as well as to grow, as an actor. And I'm glad I did. I started when I was like, a teenager, and started doing local theater and dinner theater, whatever I could. And that's what sort of gave me the confidence to come out to Los Angeles and go to acting school and keep pursuing it.
Well, very cool. And I know that in terms of video games, I know Beautiful Joe doesn't have a lot of dying screams, but have you ever had really taxing voice sessions?
Oh, yes. I was in several of the Dynasty Warriors and like Warriors Order Shi. Mostly have played the character Taisi Chi and various other of warriors in those things, and those are very taxing because you have to do so many kinds of battle cries, from low energy to high energy to high impact, low impact, as well as getting, dying, and so there's a lot of screaming, grunting, groaning in those type of video games. So usually I come out of there, and I can barely talk.
Have you ever had any times where you've completely lost your voice and you didn't have the ability to go into work the next day?
No. What's funny is, definitely some of the characters, I even in anime, if you're doing a longer session, I've had it sometimes where my voice starts getting really hoarse. And I don't know how it happens, but if I just keep pushing through and I drink a lot of tea while I'm there, sometimes I can like move beyond it and continue. And there are times where it is rough. Like there was one time I was catching a cold, and I think it was actually during Durarara, and so we had to push it back another day, or at least a couple of days, until I could get over it, because it lowers my voice, and I have to have definitely a higher pitch when I do certain characters.
Right. And I know with Durarara specifically, they released a little bloopers reel. What is some of your favorite bloopers moments that you've ever had?
Let me think if I had any with Durarara. I don't think they used any of mine on there.
I'm not sure. I know Johnny had a couple.
Yeah. You know, I'm the type. I'm so serious. I guess maybe too serious when I go in, and I usually the things I do or say are usually off mic. I guess I don't know because I don't want to waste time. But yeah, I really can't think of anything in particular. But I mean, there's always things you're thinking of when you see the characters doing certain things, and it can be pretty funny. But offhand, I can't remember anything specific.
Some people just vocalize them more willingly.
Yeah. I think there's some who just like to clown around a little more, and are really good at that. And I'm a little bit more when they go off mic, and then I know they're not recording. Then I tell them crazy things in the booth.
Well, that's very cool. But I think we're going to take a quick commercial break. So if you're still out there, which you should be, make sure you keep it tuned, because we'll be back very shortly with our special guest, Darrel Guilbeau. So keep it tuned to your favorite station, 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
Hi, I'm the Celtic Guardian, but you guys can call me Dave. When I'm not busy being sacrificed in order to summon monsters that are halfway useful, I like to listen to 918 The Fan, one of the hottest online radio shows on the worldwide internet highway. Did I mention I have like 1,400 attack points? That's a big deal in my world, you know. Plus, I have a sword. Does the Blue Eyes White Dragon have a sword? No. Fuck the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Seriously.
Hey, everybody out there, you are still tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. I still have my special guest here. He's just doing a little gardening work as we go behind the scenes. Yard work is very important.
It is very important. I have leaves all over the place, and it drives me crazy. I got to get out my blower and blow those suckers out of the way. So just finished doing that before you called.
There you go. But we were wondering, do you have any super special conventions that you are planning to head out to this coming year?
Yes, I do. In May, I believe it's around the weekend of May 20th, sometime around there, I will be at Anime Central in the Chicago area in Rosemont, Illinois, and it'll be fun. And I know also Spike Spencer will be there, as well as Colleen Clinkenbeard. So far, those are the guests that I know as well that will be there. So I'm looking forward to that. I've never been to that convention, so I hope everybody comes out, says hello, and talks to me, and I would love to meet people.
I hear Anime Central's a really good one. Nice middle ground where a lot of people can actually get out to in the Midwest.
Right. It's a nice central area.
I guess that's why they call it Anime Central.
Yeah. No pun intended.
Or is it?
It may be. You can never tell.
But do you have any other conventions that you know of currently, or are you still waiting to map those out?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for word. Usually I like to try to do at least 3 or 4 a year. Right now, this is the only one I have scheduled. So, we'll see. Hopefully other things will come up in the year. Also, hopefully I'll be able to, promote other things that I'm doing. So that would be really nice to do.
Well, definitely. And do you have any sort of social media or a website where people can keep up on all your up-to-date stuff once you know they'll know, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm really bad. I'm a very bad voice actor about self-promotion. If you know Kylie Baird, he's great about doing like websites. He's got his website. He's got his own little sort of channel thing going on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We know Kyle. He tweets about everything.
Right. I mean, he is fantastic. Whereas I'm exact opposite. I don't know. I stay in my yard and I garden. But I am on Facebook. I do accept friends on there. Just look up my name. And really that's it. Other than that, my profile on, what is it, the Anime Encyclopedia? Anime News Network.
Yep.
Sort of my profile where they'll put stuff that I'm doing. But that's sort of it right now. I haven't really set up a website or anything.
Well, that's
Maybe
cool.
I should.
We get that sometimes. They're the people who are completely tech savvy. Spike Spencer has 3 different websites of his own. Kylie Baird tweets every 5 minutes. He just tweeted a minute now. He's apparently going into the booth for a recording session. Go, Kyle.
Right. Oh, hey, go, Kyle. He was fun. We were at a convention in Boise, Idaho in November, and he was a lot of fun to hang out with.
Yeah, he seems like one of those big, fun-loving guys. He's all over the place.
Definitely. But other than voiceover stuff, in terms of acting things, I'm going to be on Victorious, if anybody watches that on Nickelodeon.
I will have to watch out for you then. My brother watches that when there's nothing else on.
Okay. Yeah, it's a 2-part episode. I'm only in one of the parts. I play Tori Vega's lawyer in a third world country. So it's a kind of a crazy episode.
Well, at least you'll be easily spotted. Is that Darrel? That background character over there? Can't see.
Well, they put a lot of fake facial hair, like to make me look like I was from Albania or something.
Oh.
And the way that it was pretty crazy, and wearing very 1970s mismatched clothing, because it's a very poor country apparently. But it was a lot of fun, and what they did was in order to put the facial stuff, they bring out a blow dryer, the makeup department, and they sprinkle this black stuff to stick on your face. They put the glue first, but it's almost like being sandblasted on your face.
Instant beard, just add air.
Right. It was very crazy.
Well, I will definitely have to check that out now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's in the part of the second season, which I believe is starting this spring sometime. So I don't know when it's going to air at this point.
Well, I will look up on it, and I will be sure to let everybody else know who is interested.
Yes, thank you very much.
Anyway.
And, go ahead.
No, you go. It's you.
No, I was just going to say I try and stay busy. I just did also a little webisode of a show called Sir Geoffrey MD, and it takes place in the year 1345, and it's about a monk doctor it's a comedy, who is practicing medicine back in 1345. So you can imagine how pagan or just old-fashioned the practice of medicine was. Whereas my character is called Master Lipstream, and he's a patient. He actually gets bitten by his donkey. So I may be the first man to die of donkey bite on a webisode coming soon. But you can look that up as well, Sir Geoffrey MD.
All right. I will definitely make sure to link that once we get everything all posted up here. But as we are nearing the end here, we just have one final thing to ask of you, and that is, would you like to be willing to participate in a 91.8 The Fan tradition?
I sure would.
Awesome. I don't think anybody's ever said no to that.
No, I won't.
That'd be awkward. It's like, no. Okay, see ya. Bye,
no, and then they hang up.
That would be a very awkward ending. But we just ask everybody who comes on the show if they would be willing to do a radio bump for us.
I sure would.
All right, we just ask everybody to say, my name is, you insert your name. I do this. You can just say voice acting in general or a specific character. And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
91.8 The Fan, I sure will.
All right, and we do it live, just in case there are any bloopers.
There probably will be.
Well, that's half the fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So whenever you're ready.
Okay. On your mark, get set, go. Hi, everybody. My name is Darrel Guilbeau, and I'm a voice actor with video games and Japanese anime dubs. And I just want you to tune in to 91.8 The Fan. Listen and listen well.
All right, you got it all in one take.
Wow, I'm amazed. Because usually I never get it. Usually I never get it in one take in the booth.
Well, apparently all that practice has paid off.
I appreciate you guys calling me.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to come out here, and for anybody else out there, if you missed any part of this interview, shame on you, but it will be up on the website in the next few days, so make sure that you keep it tuned to your favorite station, 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want, and nothing you don't.